with a pretty unique unboxing of Thunderstone Advance. Why do I say unique? Well, there's a good reason for that, because we have a lot of things already laid out for you here. This is a game that is really predominantly cards, as you can see. So I wanted to kind of show you just a layout of not so much what you get when you open the box, but really kind of what we get in the box, and why I think it's a nice little change of pace, so to speak. So the first thing you can't help but notice is this giant board. When you look at it in comparison to everything else, it is really, really big. But it's really good, actually. It is made of a very solid cardboard. Does not feel flimsy, does not feel breakable at all. You'll notice, if you're familiar with Thunderstone, the village can get kind of crazy to populate at times, depending on how many cards you're playing with, or if you're playing in epic mode or something like that. But from a standard game standpoint, the board really does a good job. You can see that it lays out, you have spot for your guilds and taverns with your heroes, your armory with your weapons, your marketplace with your items, your wizard's college of spells, your town square with villagers. And then you have the dungeon at the top with the 3 ranks, the darkness levels, and the penalties for each of them. You'll also notice the curse deck spot and the familiar deck. Now we'll get into it a little bit more, and we'll show you some of the cards here in a second. Mind you, this is not going to be a review of the game. This is really just going to be an overlay of the components that come in the game. We will plan on doing a critical review later on down the road. One of the things I really like, and give me a second here to flip this over, there is a second side to the map, or to the game board. Everything is the same, you should notice from the village standpoint, but the dungeon is different. This one is called the wilderness. Instead of the dungeons, it's the outside wilderness. Real nice pictures that you can see in the background, good artwork of being in the wild, so to speak. You'll notice there's 4 ranks instead of 3, and there are different darkness and penalty levels, which is kind of nice. So it's a little easier way to get into the game. They do recommend you to play this first. So what does come in the box? Well, aside from a boatload of cards, you do get a very good full-colored 4-page little jump-in new to Thunderstone booklet. So if you are brand new, this will give you the layout of what the game entails, what all the pieces are. And then if you are looking for the full advance rules, you have a wonderfully thick, very, very big book here that goes through not only a great story in the beginning, but a lot of information about the game, the advanced rules, what to do, how to unpack, how to set up your first game. Goes into really, really good detail of, apologize, there's a little bit of glare there, hopefully we can get that a little bit fixed. But you can see there's really good detail in terms of card information. And anyone familiar with Thunderstone, you will notice it probably looks a little different. One of the things I will go ahead and jump into here real quickly just to show you, which I actually really like, whenever there's a sample, so for example in this one there is a sample dungeon action, it actually shows you the pictures of the cards, which is really kind of nice. Gives you a little bit more familiarity with the cards so you can understand the scenario they're explaining. The other thing I like is this. There is a card glossary. And it shows not just the card pictures, but answers some FAQs around some of the cards that may require a little bit more explanation. So we will go ahead and pull out some cards, but before we do, we'll show you that they do come with wonderful dividers, very full-colored artwork dividers, and there are spots in the middle for extra cards and for your experience points. But we've got ours broken out by heroes, villagers, curses and familiars, the generic cards, the regulars, which took the place of militia, long spears, which took the place of daggers, and torches. And then we have the basic decks. You have the randomizer cards. You have avatars, which are, if you pre-order the game, you can get those. And then the monster cards. But we'll go ahead and pull some out so you can see some of the artwork on them and see how good looking they are. And we'll be back in a sec. Alright, so now we're back. We're looking here at some of the cards. These are the 3 Thunderstone bearers that you get in the game. You get Orsig, Belloc, and Stramst. All of which are very, very fun, very, very powerful. And any of them are going to provide good fun stuff. Now I did want to show some of the artwork for the monsters. You can see that they get, from skeletons, they get very, very, very detailed in the artwork. The card design's a little bit different too, so it gives you a little bit more. You can see some of the worms and the dragons. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. Can't really say too much about it, but this of course is one of my favorite cards. The Phoenix keeps coming back and coming back. These are the burn marked, which are very, very, very stylish. Okay, next up we have the heroes. The Wet Mage. I just kind of laid out a couple here for you to take a look at. Different levels. Of course, part of Thunderstone is leveling up your character from level 1 to level 3. Or leveling up your heroes, excuse me. So you see Thunder Mage, you see Sternkin, one of the dwarfs, and the different levels and different numbers associated with him, and Deep Strider Sentry, just some of the more fun ones to play with. Another nice addition are these. These are the familiars. Familiars, there's 7 of them in the game, and they're really fun. At any point in the game, once per game, you can defeat, or when you defeat a monster in the dungeon, you can choose a familiar. They stay in front of you, and depending on your XP, you can do different things. They're really, really fun. Nice little addition to the game. Okay, here we have some of the village cards that you can see. Again, great artwork. The only thing I think I could say just straight out of the box looking at, which is kind of frustrating, is that the green on the border of these and the blue on the border of the heroes is not much different. It would have been nicer to see a little bit brighter colors on the borders just to stand them apart. When you look at the monsters, the red is very, very clear, but the blue and the green tend to blend in a little bit. Here we see some of the randomizer cards. The randomizers are really, really cool. They give you a little bit more information than they normally would. Like for instance, Thunder Mage says this wizard has magic attack and provides light. At her top level, she can defeat monsters in rank 1. So it gives you an idea as to what type of stuff is going to happen on the monsters or on the heroes that you put out. So if you are using these as random pulls, it's a really good way to understand, just looking at the ones you've pulled, will they interact, will they not interact, will it make for a fun dungeon, a challenging dungeon, or a completely random dungeon. Okay, and then finally we have avatars. Avatars are really cool. If you pre-ordered the game, you get a deck of these. If you are in the Austin, Texas area, there's a local store named Dragon's Lair, which actually has some of these left over still, and you can get them when you buy the game. But the avatars are really cool. They are double-sided, so same thing on both sides. You choose one at the beginning of the game. You can either choose them randomly, or you can pick one, however your group decides. And that represents you. So for instance, the fighter avatar is weapons weigh 1 point less, so you can carry heavier weapons. The thief avatar is you can buy items and weapons for 1 fewer gold, which is real nice. So these give you a little bit of an extra flair into the game. But again, great artwork, real good standout. So that's it. That's going to wrap it up. As you can see, there is quite a bit in this box between that board, which is now right under the box, the dividers, the different books that you get in terms of learning to play for the first time or learning the advanced rules, and all of the different cards that you get as well. Quite a bit to it, and this isn't even maybe but 10% of what's in the box that you see on the table right now. For $49.95 value, very, very good. You get a lot of good cards, a lot of good artwork, and a really, really fun package, really fun setup. So until we do our critical review, this is Tox signing off. You can add comments in the blog. You can add them to our Facebook page at facebook.com/critshappen, or you can get us on Twitter at twitter.com/critshappen. Until then, this is Thunderstone, and we'll see you next time.